Tonight on CTV, we find out how a student organization is making creative ways for biofuel.
Then, a major brewer gets sold to a global company.
And more delays with the vote on the former Hughes Stadium site. All this and more tonight on CTV Channel 11. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Lauren Orcutt.
And I'm Remy Kelbel. The vote to rezone the site of the former Hughes Stadium has been moved to January 21st to an ethics complaint filed against Mayor Wade Troxel and Mayor Pro Tem Kristen Steffens. The ethics complaint wants Troxel and Steffens not to participate in the discussion of the redevelopment of Hughes because both are employed by CSU. Troxel, who is an associate professor in mechanical engineering, and Stevens is a graduate coordinator in the statistics department. Both of them had said that they don't feel like their employment with CSU is in conflict with the rezoning plans. For now, an ethics review board has until December 30th to evaluate the complaint. Police arrested a woman connected to a crash that killed a 92-year-old woman back on November 10th. The woman arrested is 20-year-old Taya Stebbins of Fort Collins. According to the Coloradan, the crash took place on Larimer County Road, 54G, around 9:30 in the morning of the 10th. Stebbins' car drifted into oncoming traffic, which resulted in the death of 92-year-old Neva Lippert. Stebbins was transported to Medical Center of the Rockies for serious injuries. Police questioned her at the hospital, where they say, quote, a strong odor of alcohol emitting from her. Stebbins is now at the Larimer County Jail, where she is charged with vehicular assault while under the influence, reckless vehicular assault, driving under the influence, and driving without insurance.
A former Poudre School District teacher was arrested for suspected crimes against children last week. According to the Coloradoan, Larimer County Sheriff deputies received a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. This led sheriff's officials to obtain a warrant for 38-year-old Daniel Fisherman. He is currently being held at the Larimer County Jail and is suspected of charges of production of child abusive material, which is a Class 3 felony. He is also being charged with possession of 20 or more images, possession of one or more videos of a child abusive material, both Class 4 felonies. According to the sheriff's office, Fisherman worked at the Poudre School District from 2008 to 2016 as a substitute teacher. Fisherman is scheduled to appear in court on November 26th. If you have any information, you are asked to contact Detective Justin Atwood at 970-498-5143.
The 72-year-old woman who was hit by a train on Friday afternoon is recovering in a hospital, according to police. According to the Coloradan, the woman who was struck has not been publicly identified yet. Police say that she was attempting to cross the train as it began moving after it was stopped at the intersection of Mason and Mulberry Streets around 3 in the afternoon. There are reports that trying to cross over train tracks have gone up in Fort Collins, which is illegal.
Crews are working to continue cleaning up contaminated groundwater from the Larimer County landfill. The contamination hasn't reached the water in Fort Collins yet, but officials continue to monitor it. The contamination has been going on since 1985, but officials have been working since to keep them contained. According to the Coloradoan, Larimer County spends about $40,000 per acre a year to cap the contaminants from spreading. Construction
started on a new daycare that is coming to the southwest corner of campus. The daycare, which is set to be located at the Lake and Shield Streets, is expected to open in July of 2020. According to source, the daycare will be open to the public, but CSU students and employees are given priority. The facility will be able to serve 170 kids ranging from infants to 12-year-olds.
A bit of controversy came up at last night's Senate session For more, let's head over to Senate reporter Allison Tackett. Allison, what's all the controversy about?
Well, Lauren, executive members from the ASCSU Senate answered some questions that were asked by the concerned Senate body about a recent trip to Arizona State University. The ASCSU executive members answered questions about a recent trip to Arizona State University at the Wednesday night Senate meeting. Senator Isabel Van Dyke expressed concerns that she had about the agenda of the trip in two meetings that the executive branch had while in Arizona. Van Dyke said the meeting was not on the approved agenda list for the trip and that it could be a violation of ASCSU's financial rules.
Did you have an agenda that was approved by both advisors to admit?
The agenda was
spent $5,000 to go to Arizona to...
I'd love to clarify. So the agenda was tentative, and that was the plan from the beginning.
The president of ASCSU, Ben Almanson, said the members in question did not take a trip for any sort of political reason. He said this questioning was about humiliating him rather than talking and addressing concerns. Other senators chimed in and said that this was not a place to be attacking officers, and a motion was passed to end questioning over this trip. But that motion did not stop the Senate from further questioning the concerns that they had over the executive branch chief of staff, Melissa Quisana. Van Dyke motioned to have Quisana removed to occurrences during previous Senate meetings. Van Dyke also said that Quisana's behavior in the past has made senators feel degraded throughout the semester. Quisana apologized for her actions shortly after this statement. Savannah Overturf said, "From my experience with Chief Quisana, she may be overpowering at times, but she uses her power to show us what to do because she's been in our position." The Senate voted not to remove Quisana's status. Allison Tackett, CTV, Channel 11. For more information about Wednesday night Senate meeting, you can go to ascsu.colostate.edu.
After months of closures, the Vine Drive Bridge over I-25 opened again this week, weeks earlier than expected. According to the Coloradan, most of the work is done on the bridge with some minor touch-ups left, like installing guardrails, fences, and reseeding. CDOT says drivers should still expect some daytime lane closures while they officially finish up the rest of the work.
Now, I'm sure you've noticed just as much as I have high gas prices recently, which tends to make it harder to fill your tank up at the end of the month. But some research has found that algae, yes, the stuff that grows in ponds, can be used to create fuel. And students here at the Algae Club at CSU are taking a closer look into this sustainable fuel option.
We're looking into maximizing the photosynthetic capacity of, so maybe we can make it more efficient at converting sunlight into resources such as biofuels.
The research takes place in labs right here on campus. Members in the Algae Club test different ways in which algae is affected by different chemicals and light to see what environment and process can turn it into things like fuel.
It's a really unique organism. It has a lot of parts to it that we can rip out and turn into something really great. One of the popular ones right now is biodiesel. You take out the fats and you can turn that into diesel.
Now, unfortunately, you can't just put this algae right into your gas tank, but research is continuing to grow to make gas prices lower and fuel more sustainable.
The largest brewer in Colorado announced on Tuesday that it was being sold to beverage giant Lion Little World Beverages, which is based out of Australia. According to New Belgium, Lion Little bought the company in an all-cash transaction. But the acquisition is still pending approval by regulators and employee shareholder vote. If approved, it could take place at the end of this year.
That's right, Remy. In an email to CTV, New Belgium says that customers won't see any changes with the transaction and they will remain committed to Fort Collins. Their director of communications said, quote, "Fort Collins is our beloved hometown and would not be where we are without the support of our town. Nothing changes about our presence in Fort Collins, and we still continue to support the community through our events, programming, donations, and commitment to being a part of what makes this city so great."
Time flies when you're having fun. This old saying is especially true for a local legend, Dwayne Dare. Most 80-year-olds with a titanium hip would probably just sit around relaxing, but not Dwayne. He has been the crossing guard at Down Elementary for 19 years.
He just has such commitment and dedication to the families here at Dunn and the kids.
He is just the kindest, gentlest man and is so sincere and is here to help anyone and everyone.
There is a lot of responsibility that comes with this job.
Sometimes the cars are in a hurry, but they still honor the stop sign.
This is the intersection where Dwayne has been helping students cross the street for nearly 2 decades.
He always keeps us safe and is always nice to all of us.
Dwayne loves the students almost as much as they love him.
He's there every morning.
And how does that make you feel?
Really good. He's just like probably the best cross guard we could ever have.
The reason Dwayne has been at Dunn for so long is quite simple.
It's the kids and the parents, because they're friendly, they're loving. That's it in a nutshell.
Dwayne doesn't see an end to this career anytime soon.
It was so cute to see all of the students running by and yelling, "Thanks, Dwayne!" and just to see how much he actually loved those kids.
Yeah, he is so cute, and I think it is incredible that he's been so dedicated to that school for 19 years. That's like almost as long as I've been alive, so that's crazy.
Exactly. That's as long as I've been alive, and it's crazy to think that someone could be so dedicated for that long.
Yeah.
Yes, this is so wonderful.
Right.
Yeah, and people would go by and just like say great things about him, so it's cool to see that he's affecting the community as well. Well, don't go away quite yet, because I'll be back after the break to talk about all things entertainment.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
What's poppin', Rams? I'm Kristen McAllister, and I'm here to tell you about all of the spicy entertainment news that we have going on. So let's get into it. What do you think of when you picture Fort Collins? Probably food, beer, and dogs, right? Well, you probably didn't think about food trucks. A new food truck is being added to the mobile food landscape. Rocky Mountain Coquí is serving up authentic Puerto Rican dishes. The family of 3 is using old traditional recipes to make food for Fort Collins. They're currently stationed in the Recycled Cycles parking lot on Fridays and Saturdays from 11 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. You can stop by to try their sandwiches, sides, and so much more. Even though it's not a lot, there is still some snow on the ground outside right now. And snow just really makes me want to cozy up, drink hot chocolate, and go sledding. And if you need a good place to sled, you can check out the old site of Hughes Stadium. The disc golf course that is next to the old Hughes site doubles as a classic sledding spot. So get out there where there is still some snow on the ground. Stop in the name of love, or in chicken wings. Wing Stop is officially coming to Fort Collins. This Saturday, the aviation-themed restaurant has their official opening. You may have eaten at this chain at one of their many locations around Colorado, but up until now, the closest you could get these wings is all the way in Loveland. So if you have a craving for wings, you can come help welcome this new restaurant to our community. Now that it's after Halloween, people are already getting prepped for the winter holiday season, and Foothills Mall is leading the charge starting tomorrow. From 6 to 8 at night, the mall is having their annual tree lighting ceremony.
They are also hosting the Skate the Pond, where you can bring ice skates or rent them and try not to fall down on their outdoor rink. Besides the price of skate rentals, this is free, so you can get into the holiday spirit. Well, Rams, that's all I've got for you, but stick around because Viola Gorton is going to tell you what weather to look for going into Thanksgiving break.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Good evening, Rams. I'm Viola Gorton. Hope you all stayed warm today. Let's take a look at your forecast. Currently in Fort Collins, we can see that the weather is chilly. It was a chilly day today, and the current temperature is 25. We can see that we got some snow last night, and the weather is going to continue to get more chilly, more cold as we move into the winter months. Looking at the weather and how it was today on campus, we can see that last night we got some snowfalls. You can see some ice on the trees and on the ground. Students were walking around with their snow coats on, their snow boots. It was pretty chilly, some snow on the trees and the bushes, but there's always that one kid walking around campus in high-knee socks and shorts saying that he's doing perfectly fine and nothing will bother him. The weather is perfectly fine. So moving into tonight's lows, we can see that across the I-25 corridor, the weather hits the mid-20s. Fort Collins will hit 24 degrees, as well as Denver. Colorado Springs, a little bit warmer, 26, and Pueblo as well as 23. Across the mountain side of the state, we're going to hit the mid-teens as the weather continues to drop, hitting 9 degrees in Alamosa, the coldest across the state. Looking on the east side of the state, we can see the temperature is a little warmer, but in Lyman it's 19 degrees, the coldest on that side of the state. Looking into tomorrow's forecast for Fort Collins, it's going to be a little warmer, partly cloudy, 39 degrees, but still those colder winter weather. So definitely bring a jacket, maybe a hat, warm shoes, and you should be perfectly fine on campus. Moving into tomorrow's highs for the state, it's going to warm up a little bit, but still those cold, winter weather for Fort Collins and across the state. Fort Collins will hit 39 degrees, Denver 43, and down the state 37 in Colorado Springs as well as Pueblo. The mountain state warms up a little bit, but still those mid temperatures for you, as we can see that the coldest is going to be 30 degrees in Telluride. On the east side of the state, we can see those temperatures actually stay pretty even and consistent across the east side of the state, 36 along all of the different cities on that east side of the state. Moving into the 5-day forecast, what you can expect in Fort Collins, we can start off with tomorrow, Friday, the last day before Thanksgiving. We're going to get some snow, and it's going to be cloudy in the afternoon, hitting about 39 degrees, so definitely bring a jacket to campus and class. You're going to want it. Moving into the weekend, many of us are going to leave for Thanksgiving, but if you're here for the weekend, we can see temperatures increase a little bit. It would be a little bit warmer, hitting the 50s in Fort Collins. Moving into the beginning of the week, we can see that Monday we're going to have a 40% chance of rain. As well on Tuesday, it decreases a little bit, 10% chance of rain. So maybe it's time to bust out those rain jackets, Rams. But this weekend, we have another border war against Wyoming for our football team. So let's take a look at our forecast for that. Our tailgate is going to start around 3:30 in the evening, starting at 38 degrees. Not too bad, but definitely bring a jacket and maybe a blanket for the rest of the evening. As we can see, temperatures definitely drop through the Course of the game, it's going to start dropping 28, 29. The game is going to end at 25 degrees. So definitely bring a blanket or a jacket or a friend to cuddle with, maybe some hot chocolate. You don't know, but it's definitely going to decrease and it's going to be cold. Well, that's all I have for weather, Rams, but after the break, Corey Odom takes a look at the border war this weekend.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear. Because for 75 years, he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like, if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
I am what hunger looks like in America. I am an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for the last day of school. Because this may be the last time I'll have lunch. Till September. I am a single father of 2 who works 3 part-time jobs. And that's still not enough to put food on the table. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
A Rocky Mountain showdown and a border war are happening on the same day? I'll help you break it down here on Corey's Countdown. I am Corey Odom, and it's 3 top stories at CSU Sports, 2 top players to look out for in the battle for the bronze boot, and 1 minute of mayhem. So let's get right into it. 3 top stories. CSU volleyball team may have clinched the Mountain West title, but the season isn't over yet. Tonight, the Rams are in sunny California, taking on the San Jose Spartans, a team they easily swept back on October 24th. In that match, the Rams held the Spartans' best hitter, Fernanda Vito, to a negative .071 hitting percentage on 4 of 28 hitting with a whopping 6 errors. The Spartans would end the day with an .067 overall hitting percentage. One player who did play well on the 24th was redshirt senior Kirsty Hillier, who dominated on all fronts. Hillier went 11 of 16 with only 1 error, leading the game in hitting percentage, blocks, and finished second in the game in kills. The Spartans will have to find a solution for that 6'6" blocker in the middle if they want any chance of beating the number 12 ranked Rams. The women's basketball team will hope to have similar success as the volleyball team when they face in-state rival CU Boulder in Moby. The team who started 3-0 has found themselves on a bit of a slide, losing 2 in a row, including the heartbreaker in overtime to Northern Illinois. They'll have their hands full tomorrow versus a dominating Boulder team who is yet to beat a team by less than 10, including 2 different UWs, Wyoming and Wisconsin-Madison. The Buffs' leading scorer on the year is Maya Holinshed, a junior guard/forward out of Houston, Texas, who averages 15 points a game with 4 rebounds and almost 3 steals. To see how that game turns out, keep your eyes on our YouTube page at CTV 11 because I'll be giving you all the updates you'll need on that game. It was a tough night in Moby for the men's basketball team. A game that started all Rams, ended all wrong. The Rams' Nico Carvacho led the team in points with 15, but was held to just 5 rebounds, being out-rebounded by teammate Isaiah Stevens for the first time on the season. Stevens would lead the game in rebounds with 6 and assists with 8, but his efforts would ultimately be in vain as the Rams would blow a 17-point lead in the second half. The defense really softened in the second half when it felt like the Rams were in control, and Coach Nico Medved was not pleased.
Some people might say, oh, they made a bunch of shots, they did, but we deserved that. That's basketball, and really disappointing that we weren't able to do that here tonight. And I thought our defense was by far the poorest that we had played this year, and it wasn't a make or miss game to me. It was our defensive intensity really throughout the entire game, but it's particularly there in the second half.
Rams will have almost a week to shake it off as they play New Mexico State on Monday the 25th. 2 top players. The Rams will try on Friday to beat the boys for the bronze boot for the first time since 2016. With the star quarterback Sean Chambers out with a knee injury he suffered against Nevada on the 26th of October, they'll have to be able to handle Wyoming backup quarterback Tyler Vanderwall. Vanderwall is 0-2 as a starter, but he did push the number 20 ranked Boise Broncos to overtime in Boise and lost a tough one to Utah State on the road. Vanderwall isn't the quarterback Chambers is in any regard, has less throwing yards per game, is less efficient, runs the ball less. He averages 68 rushing yards less a game. If the Rams want to win, they'll either have to hold teams in the fourth quarter or score way more points late. And a big person in that equation is Warren Jackson. So for the Cowboys, Azizi Hearn will be tasked with the matchup. Now, we've got here is a pretty simple 15-yard flag route. I'm just going to let it play out because it takes that 15-yard flag route and he takes it all the way to the house. But I want to show how the Aggies got there. So they're starting off and they're in a spread formation. They've got 5 wide receivers, no running backs, and the quarterback's in a shotgun. You can see it's at least partially manned because this linebacker is matched up with the person here in the slot. He looks up and sees that his teammate's running over, which shows that it's zone on the top side of the screen. As he comes over, and we can it will show who's where as they've all kind of settled in, and we get the advantage of stopping the game. You can see that the linebacker's got the hole, 2 deep safeties got deep halves. Corner's got the sideline, and it's man-to-man here at the bottom. So it's zone up top, man-to-man down low. So as it plays out, you can see that the pump fake that Jordan Love throws in earlier really pulls that corner in and tries to cover the receiver right here a little bit earlier, and it pulls him off the flag route here. And the safety in the back doesn't have time to get all the way over just due to the amount of time it takes to get from the center field all the way to the sideline. That mixed with terrible pursuit angle is just guaranteed touchdown there. I really, as someone who played defense, you can't defend that pursuit angle. Terrible there. But it does show that the Cowboys have some faults that the Rams can kind of get into. But they are 5-0 at home this year. So the Rams will have to go into their house, ruin their record, and they'll have to take their boot. 1 minute of mayhem. Woo! Well, now it's time for the 1 minute mayhem. For you new viewers out there, that's where I have 1 minute to try to answer 11 different questions I have never seen. I am ready when you are, so let's do this. All right, will Des Bryant make a comeback? I don't think so. If he was going to do it, he would have done it by now. He wanted to be on the Giants. That was never going to happen. Next question, can the Broncos finish above 500? I know my marker here, so we'll say yes, but my heart says no. Next question, should Myles Garrett be suspended indefinitely? Well, the NFL said that you can't be suspended indefinitely, so he had to go in and get an official date. Who knows if that's going to be never or if it's going to be sooner than he thinks? We'll see. Next question, who's your top Heisman candidate? I want to go Jonathan Taylor. There's no Badger love here on this show. I think that running backs, it's not a quarterback award. Jonathan Taylor. Next question, will Carly Lloyd make it in the NFL? It's going to be really tough. Like I know that she's got the leg for it, but I don't know if it really transfers. That'll be really interesting to see. Next question, Colts or Texans tonight? I'm going to go with the Texans. I think the Texans, they just got embarrassed at home against the Ravens. I think they're a little angry, so we'll go with them. Next question, does Georgia football deserve to be in the top 4? I think that they do. They're a very good team. Next question, where will Warren Jackson get drafted? We'll go with the Giants. Why not? Next question, Brandon Allen or Drew Lock? I would go with Drew Lock. He spent so much to get there, and that's all the time I have. I wasn't counting, but people at home, if you were, tell me how close that was. I would like to think that was very close. Now, this is the last show until break, so if you want to keep up to date with sports, we will be covering it on our YouTube page at CTV 11. But as we go over here, I want to kind of ask, what is everyone planning here for the break other than going to every single home sporting event for the CSU Rams?
I definitely won't be doing that. I would love to, but I'm going to go home and eat my weight in stuffing.
That's a reasonable exception. How about everyone else? Why aren't you going to the CSU game?
Yeah, well, nice assumption, Corey. No, I am also be going home, but my family just lives like 15 minutes away, so not too bad. But just like Lauren, I'm just going to be eating as much as possible because that's what you do on Thanksgiving, right?
Exactly. How about you, Remy?
I'll be going to the Springs and visiting my family, and we're going to have a big Thanksgiving dinner, so it'll be fun.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That all sounds wonderful, but from CTV, that's all the time we have for you tonight, Rams. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you all have a great break. We'll see you all when we get back on Monday for the sports show on December 1st.